My name is Robin Fritz. Welcome to Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. So I hope you can join in with me and with the community today and talk about what's going on with our community. So I want to welcome everyone to be here today. I'd like to share some thoughts and situations in life with you and a good grounding and balancing crystal meditation with the crystal Fallon. And so let's get started. Welcome again. My name is Robin Fritz. I am live from Seattle, Washington. This is Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. And today I want to share some real mind, body, spirit ideas, topics, tips on creating community and coming together in this hugely changing world that we're living in today and will be in for some time to come. So here's a place for us all to get together, a place of peace and calm, a place for us to share, to join together, for us to ask each other questions and to just be together in community. So please chime in. Let me know who you are, where you're chiming in from, and what kind of questions you'd like to cover today. And I have a few things that I would like to share with you. But first, let's do a grounding and balancing exercise with Fallon. Fallon is citrine Lemurian quartz. I'm going to put him right there in front of me so you can see him. Isn't he gorgeous, right? Fallon is a very rare crystal. Citrine with Lemurian quartz is extremely rare. And as you know, if you've tuned in before, Fallon is an ancient power crystal. And it's good that we can share this time and that you can experience his healthy energy. So tune into Fallon in the way your intuition works most strongly. Seeing pictures, hearing him chat with you, feel his energy, or simply know that you're connected. So take your attention to the top of your head. Let's get grounded and balanced together. And as we bring mind, body, and spirit together here in community, imagine that you're reaching out and connecting with everyone else here who's here live and who will be watching this video in the archives. Bringing community together, very important in our changing times. So breathing down from the top of your head, down your face, shoulders, chest, hips, knees, and feet. Just feel that energy line run through you all the way down and then back up again from your feet past your knees, hips, chest, shoulders, face, and the top of your head. Now take a deep breath and imagine Fallon's healthy gold light going straight to your heart. And with each beat of your heart, flooding your body with healthy energy. Love, peace, acceptance, grounding, balance, whatever you need, ask for it. So I want to thank you for joining us today. And I'm not going to pretend we're in normal times because we're not. I live in Seattle, Washington, which was the epicenter for this virus in the United States. And I know how rapidly things are changing. And I wanted to add some perspective to that. And I'd like you to add yours because here we are in community and changing times are giving us the opportunity to create community in different ways. And one of those ways to do it is online. So I want to share a fun little anecdote with you this morning to show you how people are thinking and acting and taking care of each other. So as some of you know, my dog had a serious injury, way back February, first part of February. And for a bit, we didn't know if he was even going to make it. He's going to have major surgery, and I'm happy to report he's recovering very well. And on the road to recovery, did not need surgery, is going to be fine, is back in bed at night with me and the cat. So this morning, we were out walking, and my neighbors I hadn't seen in a week because they'd been traveling were clear at the end of the block, and they stopped when they saw us, and they didn't move. And I'm looking at them, and I'm kind of do I want to look to see what's behind me? That made them stop. I started laughing. I go like, "What's wrong with you? What are you doing?" And they came forward finally, and they go like, "Well, we're social distancing." And I said, "Okay, but from half a block away." And so we had a good laugh about it. But it just shows that we're all aware that we are living in strange times, and they're serious times. But we can take the opportunity to also just relax around it and realize that we all are in it together, and we're also like my neighbors looking out for each other. They said, "Well, we traveled, we don't know if we were exposed, and so we're just staying away from people." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, fine." I thought there was like Tyrannosaurus Rex or something behind me and Ollie. So there's always an opportunity to relax around the situation. So, mind, body, spirit coming together in crisis. You know, last week I talked about offering peace to the coronavirus, and we can do that again here today. I have figured out a way that we can work with it together and make us at least feel better and possibly make a difference to the virus. And I will talk about that um, in a moment. But I also want to address your questions and concerns. And I also want to address, not just mind, body, spirit aspects, but I've been watching coming through my news feed, as I'm sure all of you have, from other intuitives out there saying, "Oh my gosh, this is a new change. The old order is breaking down and something great is going to replace it." And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you people? This order is just fine. There's a lot that's off in every civilization. There's a lot of things that go wrong, and we always try to right them, right? There are always more good people than bad people in the world. And just because people, are living their best lives and doing their best doesn't mean that this world is collapsing around us and our spiritual advantage is pushing through and like, what? Come on. Um, the world changes as we change. It doesn't need a virus. It doesn't need, athletic events. It doesn't need all of these things to break down to show us that we're all in it together. We know that. And the reason that we come together here in community at Humanity Healing is that the people who created Om Times had a vision for the world coming together in peace and harmony and growing in love together. And that's what I want to remind you about. There are lots of jokes, there's lots of fear, the stock market goes down and up, the food supply gets interrupted, people are panic buying, and yet, on the other hand, they're like my neighbors this morning, thinking about each other, thinking about the world around them, taking care of themselves and their neighbors. So, come on, we're all in this together. What does mind, body, spirit show you here? And that's that, first and foremost, you need to take care of yourself and your family. You get on a plane, they say put your oxygen mask on first because you can't help somebody else. So take care of your own family and then pay attention to what's going on around you. One of the questions that I asked yesterday, and that I'm going to figure out some way to do this on Facebook, is there a lot of us like me who are the only human in the household, and we have a very real question about if we get forcibly quarantined away from our homes, what's going to happen to our animals? Okay, one question. The other question is, are we going to allow this to defeat us? And I'll say, I know for speaking on behalf of all of us, we're all saying no together. Doesn't mean you're not worried about what's going on, but we're all in it together, and we can make a difference by bringing back to that one thing that I always talk about, is that we're here in the bodies that we're in to grow our souls in this lifetime. That's what our souls are doing in every incarnation. Or even like my dad, who's decided to stay in the afterlife to support the newly dead, that's his next soul choice. That's how he's growing his soul in the afterlife. So while we're all in this together, mind, body, and spirit, and we're all here growing our souls together, what can we offer each other right now in this time to help people relax around the situation, to take stock of things, to keep themselves healthy in body, yes, but also in mind and spirit? And that's where we can reach out together. So that's why I'm offering you the opportunity today to ask some questions and for all of us to give our response to that, as well as you can ask me some questions about what you're thinking and what I can help you with today. But body, mind, and spirit in troubled times, you know, everywhere the information is out there to eat right, drink right, keep yourself hydrated, take care of yourself, get rest, all of those kinds of things. Take care of your family and relax and enjoy yourselves and do what you can in your jobs and in your communities to help the people around you, because that's what community is all about, taking care of each other. And that affects mind, and that also affects spirit. And spirit is what I want to talk about briefly again with you this week, like I did last week. So when you're talking about creating opportunities for souls to live and grow together, right? Offering, taking care of the souls in our own household, from our animals to our human family members, if you have them, to the soul of the home that you're living in, right? The food that you eat, everything is a soul. Everything is conscious, is alive, has a soul, has a job to do, a responsibility to do it, and opinions. And we may not like to hear it, but even viruses have souls. And so the question is, if you're feeling helpless, if you're feeling like you're not a first responder, you're not someone who can go out there in the front lines and help other people who are ill, maybe you can get groceries for somebody, maybe you can just offer goodwill. Here's the one thing that we can all do together. Are you ready? And I've been dealing with this for much longer than we've been talking about this pandemic, because I have this weird ability to talk to things that most people don't think about talking with. And I call it a weird ability because most people don't recognize that. But it's true. Using your intuition, using your healing allows you to connect with all of life around you. And that can be really fun. This is the time of year when spring hits in the northern hemisphere, so things are popping up all around us. But we all have one thing in our mind right now, and that's this coronavirus. So here's the thing. You feeling helpless? Send healthy energy to the virus's spiritual team. They're spirit guides, the same as you have spirit guides. That's all you need to do. Remember, I in previous Facebook Lives, I taught you this healing exercise that was taught to me by a goddess. I'm like kind of hardcore, and I'm like, when she first introduced herself, I said, okay, a goddess? Like, what? Didn't know those things were real. I'm not sure I believe you. And she's like, yeah. I'm still a goddess. So this is an exercise. You cross your hands on your heart, breathe healthy energy into the palms of your hand. Okay. This is an exercise to get your mind wrapped around it, because it's going to happen anyway. So breathing in this healthy energy, and then palms out, and just send that healthy energy to the spiritual team of this virus, using it to help it do whatever it can do to mitigate the mortality and morbidity rate, if you will. The spiritual team, and I've been in contact with them, the spiritual team of this virus is working with healer guides, right? And anytime something is out of balance in the world, that's what happens, is that people, spiritual healers in the etheric realm, step in to help. So all we can do is help energy, which itself is sentient, to simply go there and for them to help have that extra boost of energy. It's like if somebody's hungry, you take them food. So that's what we're doing, offering healthy energy to the spiritual team of this virus, because it's out of whack. It's out of sync with the life around it. And we don't know how to fight it as regular civilians, but we know how to offer love and peace, right? And we know how to offer healing energy. And then when you're done with that, then bring it back to you, get yourself grounded back into your body, and offer healing energy back to yourself. And I know in experimenting with this goddess and a couple of friends and I, we realized that when you're sending energy off or just allowing energy to go where it will, you need to get yourself grounded back in your body, because there can be a rush of, lightheadedness and stuff of just doing all that fancy healing work. And I guarantee it will make you feel better and offer benefits to the world around you. So let me see what people have. Hey, people are saying hi, blessings. Awesome, awesome. And Samantha, thank you. Yes, I'm glad my dog is better too. And it just goes to show, gosh, you just never know. I mean, 4.5, I didn't think he was going to break his blankety blank neck, but he did. And he's fine now. But I mean, oh my gosh, that's not something that you think is going to happen. Like, whatever. So anyway, Alessandro, the inflection point that we needed. We are a fragile society. We are. And I think here's the thing that people have talked about for a very long time, is that you only need one big crisis to break the chain. And the chain is international supply lines, which have made our lives easier until they're not there anymore. So take care of yourselves and come back each week here where we can share questions and comments. But listen, I mean, people that are saying, oh, this is the breakdown of the nasty world that's been around us. Our world is awesome, people. I mean, my dog Murphy, my beloved first Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, died 8 years ago last Sunday, March 8th. And she had a lot of health issues. And when she came into my life, I started remembering our previous lifetimes together. And there was this huge blossoming on both our parts, as we had really severe health issues. And that's how I started learning how to expand and look at different things, mind, body, and spirit, and watching her heal. And I was healing too. We were learning. And I remember saying to her, here's one of the easiest times we've ever had in all of our lifetimes together. This is our chance to get healthy together. And now for many of us, this is the first huge crisis we faced. And yet look at our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, depression, world wars, famine, drought. I mean, it's the thing throughout history. I'm not welcoming it back. I like my comfortable life. But I'm saying we're in it together. And let's offer peace to the virus, healing to the virus, but offer it to its spiritual team, right? Don't interact directly with the virus. Offer it to its spiritual team and offer it to each other, because that's what we're here for today, right? This is our opportunity to connect together and to learn and grow together. So any other comments, questions? Carolyn Fields, yeah, I know what you're saying. You'll not be forced out of your home. I live in Seattle, which is the epicenter. I know, and I'm not very happy to see epicenters popping up in other places like New York. But on a reality basis, they are looking at places to take people who are too sick or need to be quarantined away from wherever they are. And that's why I raised the question on Facebook yesterday at CNN's page, because they were saying, hey, got any questions? And I raised it with people I know in the dog world, like, hello, there are a lot of us who live alone. So what happens if we need to go to the hospital or to be quarantined in a place where we need extensive medical treatment that you can't get at home, because that's why you have hospitals, to centralize it. What happens to our animals? These are questions we need to ask on a national basis, whatever country you're in, but also on the community level. And hopefully it won't happen. But if you're like me, you don't have family, you live alone, it's something that you think about, right? So Yes, it is your right, Carolyn, to stay in your home. What I'm saying is those rights get suspended if you go into crisis. But, it's neither here nor there. That's just looking forward, just like we need to plan and have good food. Lori King, first time being here. Good. I'm glad this is helping your anxiety. Um, Boy, that's what we need, right? Is to share some time. There's only so much TV you can watch, right? And the last couple days in Seattle have been beautiful and sunny, but I live near the beach and the wind is just fierce the last couple days. And it was like, oh boy, and taking my dog out, he's recovering, but he's limited in his exercise here. We're gradually building him up. So it's like, yeah, get out and enjoy nature while you can. Terry's been offering peace to the virus since last week. Thank you. Do I feel the virus aggression will come to a halt or slowly taper away? Um, the virus, as I have connected with it, is at least partially insane at this point. And I know that sounds really strange. Um, for a while I was trying to figure out if it was even possible to connect with the virus. And my spiritual team said, like, hello, I mean, haven't we been doing this for 20 years? Haven't you been connecting with anything you wanted to connect with? And I was like, well, I'm not really sure I want to talk to a virus. But the thing of it is, we're all in the world together. So here's one thing that I can give you for perspective. People who live in areas that are affected by hurricanes, for example, are like, I hate you, Hurricane XX, go away. Okay, that creates energy, and that creates an energy of blocking, right? If you hate something, if you dislike something, that halts something. That can halt something. It can halt a hurricane, as I found out accidentally. I didn't even know we could do that. Unfortunately, so here's the thing about a hurricane. If you say that kind of thing as a living being, which we're all in together, energy gets blocked or moves freely depending on how we approach it. So if you're going to hold yourself like this, you're holding your energy in, which is fine. I'm just saying. But if you walk around and you grab up little bits of stuck energy, that keeps you from being balanced. Does that make sense? That's why I do a lot of space clearings. I do them online for people in different parts of the world, and I do them in person in the Seattle area, going in and clearing blocked energy from spaces, right? So the thing with the virus is we're all helpless, right? We're waiting for the governments, for science to figure out, basically a vaccine, if you're willing to be vaccinated, drugs that can halt the spread. How can we, with, words that we never thought we were going to talk about, like flatten the curve. Like, wow, we're all getting an education and language that we're not really familiar with. The idea of offering peace to it was the idea that anything that is significantly out of balance has blocked energy, right? And if it's lethal at the same time, that creates a problem for all other life around it. So in my quest to understand it and to act in my so-called job of being an ambassador between realms, being able to talk to other beings and interpret them to human, and interpret human questions to other beings, and then creating harmony between them. There needs to be an opportunity for intuitives like we are to talk to scientists to interpret what we're hearing from the other side. Unfortunately, there's not much that I can connect with the virus because it's not completely sane, right? And it's very difficult to talk to something that isn't completely sane. I know this sounds really weird. So while I was last week offering peace to the virus, during the course of the week, I realized in talking with my spiritual team and its spiritual team that the easiest thing is to go out into the world and say, hey, everybody, send healthy energy to the spiritual team of this virus. And that energy is an extra boost. It's like if you have a basket of sugar or a basket of really cool looking sea salt, then share it with that spiritual team so they have more. Now, maybe I'll talk next week about energy and how energy is sentient and what that means in the world. But think of energy as being sentient, like you and I are, or animals, that it can think, it has intelligence, it can do what it wants, and it will do what it wants, and it is looking for places to go. And there's a lot of blocked energy on the planet for reasons I'll talk about next week too. So here's the thing. If you can find peace in your heart and send healthy energy to that spiritual team, then they've got that to work with. It's like if your basket of resources is empty, we're filling the basket back up. So everybody try that this week. Send healthy energy to the spiritual team of the virus. And here's what I can guarantee. You'll feel better because you feel like you're doing something to support your family, your community, your country, to take down the level of concern and doubt, and just to feel like you're doing something. And it will make a difference. What it means in the long run, I don't know. I've been telling people for weeks to not travel, and nobody listens. And so we'll find out. We'll find out. But I know that we will make a difference by sending the healthy energy to them. And what they tell me is that what they're trying to do is to help the virus get to a stage where it's not as lethal as it is right now. And I don't know, it could be in terms of killing or just in terms of infecting and making people really ill. That's what I know we can do. And we'll see what the results are when we get there, right? So I want to thank you all for joining in today and being out there and taking care of each other. And, I was going to start an online intuitive mentoring group in January, and then a lot of things got in the way. Mostly my dog got hurt in January, and it was several weeks before we realized exactly how serious it was. And so I got off of that. So in the next few weeks, I'm going to be opening that up. So here's the thing. We're going to talk online about how we work with intuition, how we work with healing, and over the course of months, not only will we have that community together, but I guarantee you will be able to use your intuition in a way you haven't yet. In making everyday life decisions and making intuition such an intimate daily part of your life that it isn't extra, it isn't other. You don't need to meditate to tap your intuition. It's there, just like seeing and feeling and touching are, like our physical senses are. And that's my passion, is to really help people be able to touch that, to know that you're naturally and innately both intuitive and a healer, and what that means in going around the world. Plus, we'll have fun together, and we'll learn together. We're setting up a Facebook group so that we can chat back and forth. You'll have access to me, and it's going to be fun. So right now, I'm going to close for the day. Send me your questions at my page on Facebook, The Practical Intuitive. Send me your comments. Send me tips for things that you want to talk about. Say, Robin, I didn't get at all what you were talking about. Can you clarify that? And I will. Today is my offering to you to relax, to calm down, to realize that, yep, society has its ups and downs, and this is clearly a very big down. And we're in it together, and we will pull through. And no, it's not the end of the world. I like the world as it is right now, because there's a lot of good that's kind of like, that old saying, don't hide your light under a bushel basket. There's a lot of good out there. All of you are good. We are good together, and we will get through this together. And I offer you peace and support in the coming week. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. You can go to my website, robinfritz.com, personal and business intuition, mediumship, animal communication, space clearing, past life and between life regression, energy healing. And if you're interested, I'm launching a little free book that is an actual transcription of a real mediumship session I did with a client as part of my upcoming book launch. I know, like a book about the afterlife in a time of plague. Yeah, really not great timing. But the little ebook is free, so think about that if you'd like that. Also, let me know. And come back next week. Let me know what you'd like to talk about. But I will put on the list that we're going to talk about energy and how energy works and how energy is sentient and how I figured that out. And that's fascinating. So come back for that. But if you have a more immediate thing you want us to look at together, let me know too on my Facebook page. If you like this broadcast, please like my page, The Practical Intuitive. Here, Humanity Healing, Om Times, peace, offer healthy energy to the spiritual team of this virus. Let's do it together. Take care. See you next week.